Hello and welcome to this little quick but effective yoga flow crafted with beginners in mind. In today's practice, we will cultivate awareness in the body through the breath and work through some very light and gentle postures just to get the body warmed up. To begin, we will start in child's pose. In child's pose, we will start on all fours and wiggle our knees all the way to the edge corners of our mat. Touch the big toes together, sink the hips back, and allow the arms to just go out nice and long towards the top of the mat or wrap around the legs and place the forehead on the mat. Taking about 3 to 5 deep belly breaths just to come into the body. Right away, notice where in the body we're feeling any tension or stiffness, and just send the breath there. Just begin to notice what we're feeling in the body today. Use this time to allow the mind to become solely focused on the breath, to welcome in the present moment. When you've reached your 5th breath, shift the hips forward and plant the hands on the mat into tabletop position. In this position, we're looking for our shoulders to stack directly over our wrists and our hips stacked directly over our knees. And in this position, we will really focus on drawing the crown of the head towards the top of the mat and getting nice and strong through the arms. Engage the belly button to the spine, no slouching here. Just really get nice and firm in this foundational pose. On an inhale, we'll drop the belly, lift the chin, and open up the chest into cow pose. And on an exhale, we'll bring the shoulders to the ceiling and round through the back, bringing our chin to the chest into cat pose. Inhale, open the chest, lift the head. Exhale, round down. Work through your own pace here for cat and cow. Working with the breath, nice and slow to start. And then maybe if the body really likes this position, moving with the natural rhythm. Beautiful. Warming up the spine. Giving some love to our shoulders and to our back muscles. When it feels complete, allow the knees to come slightly off the mat and begin to slowly lift them all the way up until your legs are nice and straight. Push the hips back, bring the heels to the mat, and pivot back into downward facing dog. Now the goal here is not to really focus on getting those heels to the mat. It's to engage a nice long spine all the way from the tailbone to the crown of the head. So taking a slight bend at the knee here may be beneficial to really get into the depth of this pose. Wherever you are, allow the heels to pedal out one by one, just to warm into the calf muscles, into the hamstrings. Maybe nodding the head yes and no, just to give some love to the cervical spine. Finding our breath, breathing nice and deep. Slowly walk the feet towards the top of the mat until the feet are about hips distance apart, and then slowly release the hands, release the arms, and just hang out here in this forward fold. Taking a slight bend at the knee, maybe rocking side to side. And on an inhale, we'll slowly rise up vertebra by vertebra. The last thing to rise will be the head and the neck. And when you're there, allow the arms to sweep all the way up overhead. Touch the palms together and exhale as you bring it home. Hands to heart center. Pause for a moment as we transfer the energy from the floor to a standing position. Find the breath, close down the eyes, and just connect within. See what's going on in the mind. And allow yourself to set an intention for your practice today or for the remainder of your day. What do you want to let more in? And on an inhale, we'll feel the chest expand, holding it at the top. And exhale audibly, let it all go. Feel everything leaving the body that no longer serves you. On an inhale, arms will rise and swan dive forward as you hinge at the hips into forward fold. On an inhale, we will place our hands on our shins and come up to a flat back, shooting the hips away from the body and the crown of the head towards the top of the mat. Exhale as you forward fold. Inhale, we'll bend the knees, plant the hands, and step one foot back and then the other into a high plank. Really engaging all four corners of the mat here, squeezing the belly. Drop the knees, drop the chest, drop the chin, and slowly come up as you zip those legs together, using the back muscles to come up into cobra. Open up through the chest. And exhale as you come back up into high plank and eventually back into downward facing dog. Finding our breath, immediately noticing how this downward dog feels compared to the last. On an inhale, we will slowly walk the feet towards the top of the mat, keeping the hands planted. And once the feet have reached the top, release into forward fold. Energetically pulling the crown of the head towards the bottom of the mat. Working deeply with our breath. And on an inhale, we'll slowly rise. Sweeping the arms up overhead, palms touch. Exhale as you send it to heart center. Breathe in and breathe out. On an inhale, arms will rise once again, and exhale as you hinge at the hips. And this time, we'll bend the knees, plant the hands, send the right foot all the way back, lower the knee, untuck the toes, and allow the hands to come up to the knee to lift yourself all the way up. Square off the hips and reach the arms nice and high overhead into a low lunge. Focus on drawing the right hip towards the top of the mat and the left hip towards the back of the mat. Not leaning too far forward or back, and just breathing into the space of the hips. We'll slowly begin to bend that front leg. Take a hold of some blocks, or if blocks are not available to you, a book or a couple rolls of toilet paper or paper towels will work just to bring the floor closer. So straightening that front leg, pointing the toes towards the ceiling, keeping the chest nice and straight into half split. Getting into the depth of the hamstring. On an inhale, we'll come back up into low lunge. Exhale, back into half split. We'll go one more time. Inhale up into low lunge, get nice and long through the body. And exhale into half split. Beautiful. Bend that front knee. Frame the foot with the hands. Lift the back leg lift the back knee off the ground. And just slowly begin to bring that left leg all the way back to meet it until you're in high plank. And then lower the knees, the chest, and the chin. Zip the legs together and slowly peel the head, neck, and shoulders off the mat into cobra. And exhale as you come all the way down onto your belly. Inhale, come back up into cobra. Maybe going a little deeper this time. Exhale, send it all the way back down. This time, untuck the toes and lift the body up into high plank using the strong muscles of the arms. And then send the hips back into downward facing dog. Finding the breath. Noticing where the mind goes when the body is doing something different. Slowly begin to walk the feet towards the top of the mat. And then release it and forward fold. Inhale nice and deep as the arms sweep overhead. Touch the palms together and open the mouth, let it all go. On an inhale, the arms will rise. Exhale as you swan dive forward. Bend the knees, plant the hands, and send the left leg nice and long this time. Repositioning the feet as you need. Dropping the knee, untucking the toes, hands on the knee, or just come all the way up into low lunge. Same thing here on the opposite side. Squaring off the hips, pulling that left hip towards the top of the mat and the right hip towards the back of the mat. Breathing deep. And begin to straighten that front leg, point the toes towards the ceiling, grab a hold of your props or set the hands on the mat, but keep that spine nice and straight, keep that chest forward as you begin to slowly come down into half split. Bend the knee, sweep the arms up overhead into low lunge. And exhale, straighten the leg, half split. Inhale one more time, come all the way up, reaching so high with those fingertips. Exhale one last time into half split, down the length of the leg. And on an inhale, we'll bend that front leg. Frame the foot with the hands, pressing the weight of the hands into the mat. Lift the back leg, step that right foot all the way back to meet the other, into high plank. Lower the knees, lower the chest, and swoop the body up into cobra. making those collarbones smile. And exhale, push it all the way back into downward facing dog. Beautiful. Slowly walk the feet towards the middle of the mat. And when your feet are there, just allow the hips to sink all the way down. And eventually making your way onto your bottom. Send the right leg nice and long. The left sole of the foot will go to the inside of the right thigh into half dragonfly. Allow the toes to reach up towards the ceiling, giving them a nice little flex, and slowly begin to just walk the hands towards the top of the mat, finding a nice resting spot. Breathing deep. Allowing the body to start to slow down. All of the fast-paced postures are complete. And now we'll just slowly unwind. And slowly walk the hands back to center. Lift the body up. Send that right leg all the way towards the center of the mat, followed by the left. And allow the body to become nice and rooted in the sit bones as the crown of the head draws towards the ceiling. And then slowly begin to fold forward as you hinge at the hips. And allow the head to just rest wherever it finds some nice comfort. Breathing deep. Slowly begin to bring the body back to center. Send the left leg nice and long out to the side. The right heel will come towards the inside of the left thigh. Flex the foot of the left foot and slowly begin to walk the hands towards the front of the mat, maybe coming up onto your forearms, and then just surrender. Feeling that nice stretch, maybe on the inside of the left thigh, maybe on the outside of the hip. Every body is different. As long as you feel a little bit of discomfort, that means the pose is working. Allowing the mind to begin to settle. Slowly walk the hands back to midline. Bring the body back up to center. And then bring the left leg into the mat. Make your way, wiggle yourself all the way down onto your mats. Bring the arms out to a T. Bringing the knees to the chest. Staying here for just a moment just to give that lower back some love. And then send those knees over to the right side, and your gaze will go towards the left. This is one of my favorite postures to get into the back. Nice deep breaths here. Focus on keeping the shoulders glued to the mat. Maybe propping up the knees a little bit if they don't quite come to the earth. Using a pillow or some blankets. Just some options to maximize this posture. And when it feels right, bring the knees back to midline and send them all the way over to the left, switching your gaze over to the right. Same thing. Just maintaining the breath as you get into the posture and start to get into the sweet spot of the mind. And when it feels absolutely complete, allow the knees to come back to midline and allow the legs to just lie down naturally, spilling out before you, and allow the palms to rest facing the top, facing the ceiling, maybe bringing them in a little closer to the body as we start to prepare for our final relaxation pose. Shavasana. And at this point, as you begin to fall deeper and deeper into the meditative aspect of Savasana, allow the mind to perform a quick body scan. Allow the mind to just perform a quick body scan, starting at the feet, the ankles, working all the way up the leg, the knees, the thighs. See if you can relax the bottom half of the body just a little more. Feel the hips, the abdominal muscles, the back, the chest, the arms, the shoulders. Just relax that all a little bit more. Place your awareness on your throat, your head, and your face. And relax those muscles just a little more. Yoga is not a workout. It is literally a work in. And this is the point of a spiritual practice, to make us teachable, to open our hearts and focus our awareness so that we can know that what we've already known and be who we already are. Give yourselves just a few minutes of silence to be in the comfort of your own home. I welcome you to stay in Shavasana just a little bit longer. And for the sake of the video, we'll roll over slowly onto one side. And with eyes closed, slowly coming back to a seated position. Thank you for joining me today on this very quick and effective yoga flow geared with beginners in mind. From the sweet spot of the universe, the divine light in me honors and sees the beauty and true nature of you. And I hope you live today with so much love in your hearts and peace in your minds. Thank you. Namaste.